It's a super duper hot day today, and this car makes me even more sweat. Does the Fisker can compete with a Porsche Taycan? This is what we're going to discover in that video as promised. So stay tuned. I'm Patrick. I will be your host for today, and welcome to Gentleman's World. Okay, we are now in this wonderful Porsche, and as you can see, it's very traditional build. More or less in every single Porsche you have this clock. Even when this is a Taycan and an electrical vehicle, we have this clock here. And then what is also very typical for Porsche is that you have a lot of buttons, really a lot of buttons. Yeah, as you can see here and also in the previous take already. Yeah. Anyhow, they performed much better within that car, because I remember the old Porsche, they had buttons like if you would be in a cockpit of an aircraft. Compared to the Fisker, I have to say, for me, for my taste, that's overloading. I think Porsche likes to show off. On the other hand side, we need to take in consideration this car cost as built more than 70k more than the Fisker Ocean. So you have seat ventilated seats, yeah, air ventilated seats. That's super, especially in this hot environment, and everything is really like state to the art. Super nice display which goes along to the whole board here. Yeah, what you can see, you have everything touch. Yeah, but what you don't have, you're not having in the mirror, review mirror, you don't have an camera inside. Okay, but how is it to drive a Porsche? Yeah, as you can see, we're driving at the moment on a very low speed. Yeah, but it's of course in pleasure. You see here really the sports car gens within. It's very smooth to drive. Yeah, it's hard, it's stiff, you're quite flat on the bottom. And while we jumped into the car, it was that my girlfriend even said, "Hey, that's super low." Are you coming in and out of this car all the time? Yeah. Well, again, it's a Porsche. Don't forget, like and subscribe my channel. It's free for you, but for me, it helps to beat the YouTube algorithm and to deliver more content for you. What you guys maybe don't know is that this little horse, which is in the symbol of Porsche, this is the same symbol as we have in the area of Stuttgart. So Ferdinand Porsche was so attached to this region that he said, okay, we like to have the same horse on our logo as we have in Stuttgart, because he loved the area of Stuttgart so much. So where does the name Stuttgart came from or come from? Stuttgart means Stutengarten in the past. So what is Stutengarten? Yeah, as you maybe can imagine, Garten is easy, it's garden. But what is Stute? Stute is a female horse. And the area of Stuttgart was famous about the horses. And that's why the name Stuttgart was born from Stutengarten. It's not because the automotive industry is founded here and this is horsepower. No, it comes from the ancient times on the Middle Age. So maybe what you recognize is that we're shaking a little bit more in that car as in the Fisker. Yeah, that's for sure, you know, like that's a sports car here. Yeah, we would need to compare, you know, like an SUV with an SUV, because the setup of the Fisker is much more comfortable as it is in a Porsche. Yeah, anyhow, you can adjust here everything. You have here the drive mode buttons and stuff like that, which is super lovely, and the car is perfect. Yeah, also the seats and everything, they are super elegant and you feel very comfortable. It's not that you drive in the Porsche less comfortable as in a Fisker. You just shake a little bit more because that's a sports car. There's maybe another information which you guys not aware of. Yeah, Mercedes-Benz was saving Porsche. You don't believe me? The beginning of the 90s, Porsche was more or less bankrupt. Yeah, they just had like 20,000 cars sold, something like that in the year. And then Mercedes had the idea, oh, we need to fight against BMW, the M5. We need to have a limousine which is very sportive. The problem was that their factory was not set up for a big sports car, for a big massive car. So they went to Porsche and said, hey guys, can you maybe build that car for us because you have the extension or you have the size in your production lane. And this is how they produced their very famous Mercedes, which you can see here on the right hand side at Porsche. But this was not the only time where Porsche was more or less close to be bankrupt. Also when Wiedekind was taking over Porsche and he developed it to the stage where they are right now, to a very, very luxurious sports car. But also, during 2009, during the crisis, Porsche tried to buy Volkswagen. But when the crisis was then kicking in, they turned around and Volkswagen was buying Porsche. And this is something which Mr. Pirch was very keen doing, because in the agenda of the family of Porsche and Pirch, which being the founder of Volkswagen and Porsche, it was set up that nobody out of the family can be a leader of Porsche. So during that time, he took advantage and said like, okay, when we put it into our brands of the Volkswagen, then we have as a family also total control about Porsche. And this is like how it plays into his favors. And as we all know, Wiedekind was at the end fired, but he was one of the most successful managers during that time. Okay guys, you asking maybe yourself how this car is to be driven or how you can drive that car, also how it's the feel of this car. Well, I have to say, driving a Porsche is something unique. Yeah, why it's unique? Because you have this super duper sportive car, but it's very easy to drive. You feel like you're on chains. Yeah, even when you're going around the corner like hell. Yeah, it keeps track being on the road. So this is something which is very unique for the Porsche. Yeah, when you're driving an Lamborghini or when you drive a Ferrari, that's something totally different, because in a Lamborghini or in a Ferrari or in a McLaren, for example, your driver skills needs to be spot on, yeah, because otherwise you're losing quite quickly the control of the car. While in a Porsche, I have to say, it's not that we don't, like an idiot could drive now the Porsche, or everybody could drive a Porsche. Yeah, you need to get used for the horsepower and everything, but this car is excellent build. Yeah, what I say with excellent, this is where you see really German build. Yeah, everything is really spot on. Yeah, and this is what they're trying to do. The engineers of a Porsche, they like to build a car which is not failing at all, so you can push it like hell and it still stays like on the road. Yeah, of course there is physics which you can't beat, but that's so unique for a Porsche you can't imagine. What action! Look on this acceleration. Yeah, need to break down because it's 100. But this is actually, you can compare it with the Fisker. Of course, it's a totally different acceleration. Yeah, how the car behaves. But I have to say, horsepower-wise, they are quite equal. This is not the Turbo S version, which would have more horsepower, of course. Yeah, but everything is really good with this car. Yeah, acceleration excellence, of course. Yeah, talking about engineering excellence. Yeah, this car you can judge with 350 kilowatt peak, which is really outstanding. Most of the chargers within Germany, they just have 300 kilowatt. So this baby you can load up within like 25 minutes to 80%, which is outstanding, I need to say. A little bit better as the Fisker, but the Fisker can also go up to 250 or 270. It depends a little bit like on which area you start. So everything is cool here as well. So what I also miss a little bit like with this car is, I would say, less emotion about unique things. This car is super traditional build. It's excellent, like, so if you like to have a very traditional build with, of course, innovation inside, but set up on a, say, I would not say older basis, but something which already is developed, then that car is something which you need to go for. If you like to go into something which is totally new, which is much more leaner, by the way, because we have within the Fisker the big screen in the middle, we have the tiny screen, and this is it. We have just like two lanes control settings on the left and right side. That's totally different. So as you can see here, there are much more buttons, much more things you can control. But me personally, I prefer there a little bit more the Fisker, as said. So where else we can, for example, compare the Fisker to a Porsche? Again, it's not a fair comparison also. At an SUV, 70k is more expensive. What I have to say from the driving funness, or from the attention from the outside, I have to say both are very similar to each other. I was driving in the city, and people been ringing their heads around, even when we living in this area where more or less everybody drives a Porsche, so this car gets a lot of attention, but the Fisker also gets a lot of attention. So when you're driving with the Fisker around, the people also like seeking for, whoa, what's that for a car? What's in with that? Which is also quite cool, I have to say. So from that point of view, this is something where you can compare them with each other. Luxury at its best, I have to say, more luxury you get for sure in the Porsche. That's for sure. As I said, like seating, air seat heating, like connectivity is good. I don't like the Volkswagen software, I need to say. Privately, I have another Volkswagen brand at home. They are not really user-friendly, I have to say. GPRS or navigation is not working properly, also not within the Porsche, I need to say. It's very good, don't get me wrong. But then I think when you take Google Maps or something like that, it's a better play, which I don't understand why people, like from Volkswagen or from that, still take not somebody third provider for their software. But again, we're on a very, very bad road at the moment. The car is super comfortable, as well as the Fisker. It's lovely to drive. It's really cool. I like also the interior here. You have this brown leather inside. Very luxury. Like very cool. It's fantastic from the setup. You have this nice, wonderful, massive panorama roof. That's freaking good. That's so cool done. So the Porsche is really like a lovely, really cool car. So summarized on this car, I have to say, both are a good choice to do. I can recommend both. Me personally, of course, I'm owning the Fisker as well. So I love the Fisker because of his ways. He's going new ways. It's not so much traditional as a Porsche. On the other hand side, again, you can't compare these cars. It's lovely to drive. It's really cool, and this is what you get. A Porsche is something which you should drive once in your lifetime. If you didn't drive a Porsche before, I would recommend to do. You need to drive a Porsche, because then you feel really like, look how this is. You're going around, like the roundabout, and nothing happened. You're just on the ground. Back where we started. After this perfect test drive with a Porsche Taycan, what can we say? What are the differences? What are the advantages? Yes, it's a hard challenge, I need to say, because this car is 70k more expensive as a Fisker Ocean 1. The acceleration, everything is quite cool in a Porsche. It's very stiff. And of course, a Porsche, as I mentioned, is driving you and not vice versa. There are some clever things within the Porsche which I can recommend to give for Fisker as well. Double charging on both sides. Because what I escaped already with the Fisker is, when you're going to a charger and one is occupied and you're having the wrong lane, not able to charge your car, that's somehow pity, and this is a clever solution which Porsche brought on the table. From the design, I have to say both are super, and you can't compare really, because the one is an SUV with a very sportive style, the Fisker Ocean one, and then we have here, like a Porsche. This is a freaking sports car, and you feel it in every gen. It's fantastic to drive. It's lovely. They made a huge step here forward, which is great. So my conclusion is we can learn from each other. The design of the Fisker is really lovely and it's cool. Do you really like to spend more than 70K? Wait, it's up to you guys. If you prefer, like to buy a Porsche, then you like to do that, because Porsche also have a certain image. It's tradition. It's 75 years of tradition. Building sports cars excellence, building one of the best cars on the world. Of course, it's a little bit different like a Lamborghini or a McLaren or a Ferrari, but it is there and it's here to stay. On the other hand side, we have the newcomer, the Fisker Ocean 1, which is an absolutely dramatically nice design, a lovely car. Fisker did here a really brilliant job. So if you ask myself, would I spend more than 70K for a Porsche? Nah, I'm happy with my Fisker, even when I'm having the issue right now that it's not there. But hey, that's fine to me. Everything is cool. So from that point of view, I would say I stay with the Fisker. It was lovely to have you here. Please like and subscribe my channel and stay tuned. There will be more videos coming. And if you like to join another video of me, have fun and see you soon. Enjoy the great weather. Cheers. Bye-bye.